Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream on a Friday afternoon, going into the 4th of July long weekend for those that are in the United States, those who are celebrating it. Before the long weekend, I want to jump on here and talk about some retirement news, some retirement information. A recent article that was published this week from the Wall Street Journal about how people are retiring later in life, even well into their 80s. And just in the other room, I've got a father who's 86 who is still working. Why? Well, we'll talk about it here. I'm going to share this article and talk about why this is happening and why people are interested in and retiring well into their 80s. If you're interested in getting more information about the markets and personal finance, then check out the morningdownload.com newsletter. It's a free daily newsletter where I break down the markets and how you can apply it to your finances. My name is Trajan King. I am the writer of the newsletter and the writer of this YouTube. So thanks for joining us. So this article talks about how people are retiring well into their 80s, and it mentions a couple of famous people who are still working, like Harrison Ford. Between 20 and dig in, partly because people are living longer in general. People are living in the United States well into their late 70s, and partly because of the reason they are not able to retire, no longer able to afford it because their portfolio has gone down, and choosing to retire because they actually, surprise, surprise, like to work. They enjoy it. They, as this article points out, somebody said everybody likes to feel needed. Somebody said, who is a baker who is 82 years old. My father, who I mentioned is in the other room, is working. He is an attorney. He's 86, going to be 87 in a couple of months. Why is he still practicing? Because he loves the law. He loves to work. He loves putting on a suit every day, going down to the office. Granted, his schedule is a lot easier now than it used to be. He doesn't really have to work. He doesn't have to work 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 and commute. He's got a pretty good work schedule. He can work with the clients he likes to, and he's reached the point in his life where he can do the things that he enjoys, and that is his version of retirement. His version of retirement isn't gardening in the yard or going to play Scrabble with his friends or chess or whatever. He likes to work. He loves the law. He loves being an attorney. And as the Wall Street Journal points out, there are quite a lot of people in this situation in the United States that just love to work. They want to feel like that they are contributing to society. I had a YouTube video do very well last month. It has over 150,000 subscribers and a couple hundred comments. And the comments were varied. The comments were, a lot of people said, yeah, I want to retire as soon as I can. The minute I have enough money to retire, I'm going to retire. And the other half of people said, I don't think I'll ever retire because I love what I do. I love to work. You may be in one of those camps, and I'd love to hear your comments down in the comment section on which camp you're in. Do you want to work forever because you found something that you're good at, that you like to do, that you can earn money doing? Or are you ready to get out of the rat race? I think there's a third option, which is finding something you like to do and getting out of the rat race. So you can just focus on spending time on the things you want to do and the number of hours you want to do it, like my dad, who works the number of hours he wants every week at 86, and not necessarily because he has to. I think that's the ideal for me because I like to work. I enjoy it. In that video I mentioned, I retired at 47, and after about a year, for various reasons, I went back to work on various projects, and including starting this YouTube channel and helping people with their finances because I just love it. I've always loved finances and investing, and I wanted to do more of this, and I can do it on my schedule, and that's my ideal. Everybody has their own ideal. Like this article from the Wall Street Journal pointed out that a lot of people feel like they can keep working because, not necessarily because they have to, but because they want to. They have found a situation that works for them. And the truth is, the term retirement is kind of outdated. It's kind of a misnomer because retirement is not an age. It's more a number. Once you reach that number where you don't have to worry about money, that's the number that the time that you can retire if you want to. I prefer to use the term financial independence. Financially independent, you can keep working if you want to, or do something else if you want to. So one of the reasons people are living longer, I mentioned, or people are working longer, is because they're living longer. The history of that is in 1935, when Social Security was started by President FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in the United States. The retirement age was set at 65 years old. And at that time, the average life expectancy for a male was 61, and for a female was 65. And now in the United States, the life expectancy for a male is nearly 79. It's gone down a little bit thanks to the pandemic, and 81 for females. So people are living longer, not only in the US, but around the world. This means that people have more years to work, more years that they can work, and more years that they need to be retired. So they have to save up more. So they may want to save more, work more to save more, to have more money to put into the retirement fund, because in 1935 they had to plan for about no years. The 65 years, which retirement and life expectancy was actually less than that. So they didn't really have to plan for a long retirement. Now, on average, people are living almost 15 years longer. And if you're in good health, if you take care of yourself, then you may be living 30 years longer. So the fact that people are living longer and health spans and lifespans are getting longer, people are choosing to live longer so they can feel more secure, having more money in their bank account. And people are healthier. I mentioned health span. That's the number of years in your life that you're healthy. And so our health span is also increasing, and people are healthier later. My father, who's 86, is in great health, so he chooses to continue to work. And that increases the longevity of people, and the advances in medicine. People are able to stay active and productive well into their later years. That means they don't have to stop working if they don't want to. And the truth is, people like to work. If they can find a job that they like, they feel like they're contributing. As an example, Bob Iger recently returned from retirement after leaving as CEO from Disney. He was retired for about a year, and he forced his way back in after getting restless on his yacht. That's the rumor has it. He got bored because he missed working. He missed running Disney. As stressful as that sounds, he just wanted to be back in the action. He didn't want to be sitting around doing nothing. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are 91 and 99. Munger is almost 100 years old, and he is still working. In fact, 10% of the Fortune 500 CEOs are over 65. That's up from 8% in 2017. So this may not be you. You may not want to work till you're 99, and maybe you enjoy not working or would like to try not working. But this trend is changing as people are working longer because they're living longer, they're healthier longer, and they like it. Lastly, the cost of living is rising, especially with inflation the last couple of years. People need to work longer in order to save enough money to retire comfortably. So what does the future look like for retirement? It's hard to say for sure. However, it's likely that retirement will continue to evolve. People may choose to work longer. They may choose to work in a different career, switch careers. They might retire for a little while and go back to work, might decide to move to another country and work remotely for a while, take some time off, take a sabbatical, and then go back to work. They might work part-time. They might start their own business. This is already happening, especially with the pandemic. People are viewing retirement, viewing work differently as more options have opened up with remote working. So no matter what retirement looks like to you, the key to a successful retirement is to be financially independent so you have options. This means having enough money to cover your expenses without having to work. And if you can achieve financial independence, you have the freedom to do whatever you want with your retirement or in your retirement, and make it look however you want, whether that includes working or not working, or travel, or spending time with your family or your friends. So if you're not sure how to achieve financial independence, there are a number of resources that we cover a lot on this channel. I have a course, and I mentioned the daily newsletter where I cover financial topics and economics and what's happening. So check that out at Morning Download. And one other thing I wanted to cover is that the way that we look at retirement is also changing. Our perception of retirement. When I was growing up in the 80s and late 70s, my perception of retirement was it's the old people, the old guy down the street. He's has a hard time getting around in his walker, so he's retired. He's like, he must be 65. He retired. He can barely walk. But that is totally different now. In a previous video, I explored the retirement crisis and talked about how that's a real thing, that people can't retire, but it doesn't have to be, especially if you are young. The younger you are, the more time you have to plan for retirement. You don't have to not be retired because you can't afford it. You can not be retired because you actually love working. So the key to getting there is, one, finding a career and a job that you like to do. You have control over your time, and then saving enough money that you have some FU money that you don't have to be forced into working unless you really want to. A recent Gallup poll found that 43% of non-retired respondents feel like they'll have enough money to retire comfortably. So the people that aren't retired yet, only 43% said that they have enough to retire. And this is the lowest percentage that they've had since 2012. People just don't feel like they're ready to retire because of the economy, because they haven't saved enough, because they're getting older. So don't be one of those 43% of people who feel like they aren't able to retire. Even if you are getting older, it's still possible to start saving for retirement, cut down your expenses. The sooner you start saving for financial independence, I won't even use the word retirement anymore. Financial independence, the longer you have to save and the more you have to let your money grow. So just some quick thoughts about retirement and rethinking retirement. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you feel. If you're retired, I know a lot of people that watch this channel are retired. If you're retired, how do you feel it's going? Do you pick up work on the side because you like to, or because you want a little bit of extra spending money? If you're retiring, if you're saving for retirement, what age do you plan on retiring, and what do you want that to look like? I'd love to hear your comments down below in the comments. I hope those thoughts were helpful. Rethinking retirement and what we want out of retirement doesn't need to mean sitting on the beach and doing nothing, because for most people that gets really boring really fast, and they want to either go back to work or start some other project. That was my case, and I know that a lot of you feel the same. If this was helpful to spark some thoughts, then give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll have more coming up about money real soon. So enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week.